very open to suggestions of what you want to cover. So quick hi, there's Edith, Liz in the background as well. Cool. So Ali has just mentioned that she would like to do something that sort of focuses a little bit on shoulder girdle, maybe upper body release and upper body stability as well. So we'll just jump in the deep end and we'll do a little bit of that today as well. All right. Cool. So as usual, all I'm going to be using is my mat, but if you need to have a proper anything for yourself, then you can grab a bolster cushion or a towel or something to that effect. And let me just make sure that you guys can see me properly, and then we'll get going. All right, okay, so let's start in a standing position. And you can just stand facing anywhere. I'm just going to turn facing towards the mirror so that you guys can see me. Separate your feet slightly so that they're about hip distance apart. And then just stand for a moment. You're going to inhale to lift your shoulders towards your ears. Just feel the upper trapezius muscles connecting. And then exhale to glide the scapula down. And then turn your head to the right, keeping your shoulders still. Turn your head to the left. And then bring your head all the way back to the center. And take a moment here to close your eyes or lower your gaze towards the ground. And taking a few moments to breathe consciously, just feeling the oxygen and the energy coming into your body as you inhale. And with every exhale, feeling that air escape from your lungs and almost a sensation of rooting you to the ground. Taking just a few more breaths in and out. Taking a little bit of a scan down your body, noticing where you might be holding some areas of tension. See if you can use your breath, can you use your exhale to soften and release, just a little bit. And then in your own time, blinking your eyes all the way open, we're going to soften the knees very slightly. I'm going to do a mirror image. Take your right hand, reach it out, bring your arm up and over, and just pause there for a moment, and then simply open your arm again and bring it down towards the side. And now taking your left arm, reaching out, bring it up and over, and then open your arm and releasing it down. And again, we're going to repeat that on the right arm. Notice how your scapula swings down and then up and around, so it comes up the side of your ribs when you do that movement. Release and down, and again, left arm. Notice the movement of the scapula on the back of your ribs. So this is called upward rotation of the scapula. And now when you bring your arm down and the scapula glides down again, it's called downward rotation. Right arm lifting up. And you notice how naturally the palm of your hand turns. So it's just a way that the arm, the forearm, helps to bring the rest of the arm overhead smoothly. There's less strain around the shoulder when you do that. Let's do just one more time each side. Nice, easy gliding action. Now hold it here. Soften your knees slightly. Do a little bit of a reach over to the side. You're side bending your spine. And then come back up. And again, you're going to do a side bending of your spine. Notice how your rib cage actually changes shape because the ribs are actually connected to the thoracic vertebra. Connect your breath to this movement. And as your rib cage opens on the right, can you notice how your scapula glides out even a little bit more? That is called protraction of the scapula. It's a little bit of a gliding to the side. And release, and we're going to do one more time. Side bending of the spine. Come back up and just allow that right arm to float all the way down. Soft knees, left arm comes up. Pause here, leaning over towards the side. And then release back up. So now again, we are doing lateral flexion of the spine. And because the ribs are attached to the thoracic spine, you're going to feel that shift and opening along that left side. Don't forget about our internal organs here. So your lungs are getting moved, your diaphragm is getting a little bit of a stretch. And we're going to do just one more time, feeling that gliding of the scapula, release, and bringing your arm all the way down. Soften your knees, you're going to shake your shoulders. Shake, 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 shake. And all I want you to do is shake your lungs around inside your rib cage. Okay, that's it. And allow them to relax. Straightening your knees, I want you to inhale to grow tall. And then as you breathe out, look towards your toes. And we're just going to roll forward until your hands are hanging in front of your knees. Stay here for a moment, feeling the shape of your spine, noticing where you're feeling the stretch. And then start to unravel and come all the way back up into standing and lifting up and tall. Shrug your shoulders. We inhale. Feel the upper trapezius, feel the scapula lift up, and then exhale to glide the scapula down, so you just get a little bit of a release through the neck and shoulders. Taking your fingertips just onto the tips of your shoulders, turn your head towards your right. I'm doing mirror image. Tilt your chin down as if you're going to sniff your armpits. And then play around with the position of your head until you feel a little bit of a stretch down that left side of your neck. Now, if you want to increase the stretch, why don't you take your left hand and reach your fingertips towards the ground? You can feel immediately that it adds tensioning to the stretch. So this is all part of the arm lines of fascia. Bring your fingertips back to your shoulders. Release your head and bring your head all the way to the center. Turn your head over towards the right or left, sorry. Tilt your chin down. Play with the position of your neck. Find the stretch that feels good for you on this side. And now you're going to be feeling a stretch down the right side of your neck. If you want an extra stretch, take your right fingertips down towards the floor. That's it. So switch hands there, Liz. Keep your head where it is. Put your left fingertips back and take it. Yes. Can you feel how it intensifies it? That's it. Keep breathing. Place your fingertips back to your shoulders. Lift your head. Bring your head all the way to center. Now inhale to reach all the way up. And then exhale, opening your arms nice and wide. And pause here for a moment. So we're going to do another roll down. So you're going to nod your chin, start to roll forward. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. Just until your hands are hanging in front of your knees and you can feel quite a strong curve through the upper back. Start to roll your shoulders and your ribs from side to side. So you're always going to feel like one arm is going longer to the floor than the other one. And we have an increased range of movement in our thoracic spine when we round it. When we're standing upright, we wouldn't have the same range of movement because the ribs would be stopping us. The facet joints on our vertebrae would be stopping us. And then let yourself center, take a breath in, and exhale, back up you come, lifting all the way up and tall, and pause for a moment. Let's roll the shoulders back and around for 3, and 2, And one, and hold it here. I'm going to turn backwards so you can see what I'm doing. Interlace your hands just behind your back. Move your hands over to the left side of your hip. So you're going to bend the one elbow. So you're going to hold it right there. And then I just want you to tilt your head from side to side. Gentle tilting. Almost like you're going to listen to your shoulder. So this is quite a strong opening for the rotator cuff, yeah? If you're tight through the shoulder, the internal rotators, you might really be feeling this. Now tilt your head towards the left and stay here just for a few breaths in and out. Notice how this is feeling on your body and don't force it. So the shoulder socket is actually a very shallow ball and socket joint, so we don't need to push too hard, and the neck is also very delicate. Bring your head all the way back up. Now release your hands down through the center, and then move your fists over to the right hip. So your hand is cradling into your pelvis, elbow is bent, and now again, we do a little bit of a side bending. So before, when we were releasing the neck, we added a twist with the neck, right? That's very, very specific stretches to a muscle called the levator scapula, because the levator scapula has this twist in it, a rotation. What we're doing now is a little bit more specific to these neck muscles called the sternocleidomastoid and those upper trapezius muscles. Tilt your head to the right, and we're just going to pause here for a moment. Allow yourself to breathe. How does it feel on this left side in comparison to the right side that we did a second ago? And then releasing and bringing arms all the way down. Soften your knees. We're going to inhale, reaching up. Feel how the scapula glide, upward rotation, connect fingertips. Exhale, opening your arms. And now I want you to place your hands behind your lower back and see if you can connect each fingertip to its partner. That's it. And again, we inhale. Feel the ribs lifting and opening on both sides of the body. And exhale, bringing it all the way down behind your back, connecting fingertips to partner. One more time, we breathe in, filling up your lungs, and exhale. This time, just allow the arms to settle beside you, and you can straighten both your knees. We're going to do another roll down. Take a breath in, and look down towards your feet. Start peeling forward through your spine. I want you to pause with your hands just in front of your knees and stay there. Take your hands onto the tops of your knees. I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see what I'm doing. Start to lengthen your spine, just going to a neutral position with your spine. So there's energy through your crown and energy through your tail. Abs are connected. And then round your spine. And please use your hands as much as you need to. Lengthen your spine. Neutral. And then round your spine. Tuck your tail, lift your belly button, and tuck your chin in. Now start lengthening your spine and see if you can go into a little bit of extension. So it's a feeling of lifting your heart a little bit. And then round your spine. We're going to do 3 more. Bring your awareness to what your scapula are doing behind you. Can you feel how they're squeezing together here when you extend? And then when you round your spine, can you feel how they protract, they glide wide? 2 more. Moving to extension, they are retracting behind you. Rounding your spine. And we're going to do just 1 more time. Move your spine, move your rib cage, move your scapula. Round. Hold it here. Let go with your hands. Take another breath in. and unravel to come all the way up and tall. And just pause here for a moment, roll your shoulders back and around. 3, 2, 1, and allow yourself to pause, either closing your eyes or lowering your gaze. And just notice any shift that may be taking place through your upper body. Scan down from head, neck, shoulders. Noticing the front of your ribs, the back of your ribs, the sides of your ribs. Scan down to the lower back and your pelvis. Take a breath in. And then exhale, leave your eyes open. And now, turn so that you're standing lengthways on your mat. Perhaps move back a little bit if you're standing in the center. We're going to do one full roll down here. When you're ready, look down towards your toes. Start rolling your spine forward. Heavy arms, heavy head. Coming all the way to the ground, and just place your fingertips to the ground for now. Relax the back of your neck. And let's just do a little bit of bending and straightening of the knees. So we haven't done much yet to start releasing the back of the legs and the hamstrings. But don't forget that everything in our bodies are connected. So yes, we're going to have a little bit of focus on neck, shoulders, and upper body today, but it's all connected to the lower limbs too. Last one. And bend your knees and start to walk all the way down onto all fours. And stay here for a moment with your toes tucked under. Set up your wrists, set up your knees, spread your fingers out, and we're going to do a little bit of weight bearing here. So on your breath, press hands and feet into the ground and see if you can lift your knees just up off the ground. Pause there, and we're weight bearing on all the major joints of the body. What I'd like you to focus on right now is your spine. Your spine is the bridge between your upper body and your lower body here. Taking one more inhale and exhale, and then releasing knees all the way down and releasing feet all the way out. So stay here for a second. Start to move backwards and forwards. You're not rounding your spine. You're keeping your spine lengthened and neutral. And as you move backwards, you can feel maybe how the lats connect a little bit naturally. And as you come forwards, there's going to be a little bit more connection into the lower abdominals, perhaps the lower limbs. But you might also be quite aware of your wrists. So many of us take wrist issues, hey? And let's just do one more time. Say it to yourself and hold it here. Take one hand and turn your fingers back as far as you can go. Ideally, we want to be able to point our fingers towards, but please don't force it. You can stay here. You can make it easier by coming forward, or you can challenge and increase this carpal tunnel release by moving backwards slightly. Just make sure you can breathe. I mean, my general rule is if you can't breathe, you've probably gone too far, right? Good guidelines to go by, I think. And then come a little bit forward, and then pivot that hand all the way around. Now let's do the other side. Turning the fingers all the way back, settling them down, and then decide if you're going to go forward, if you're going to stay, or if you're going to shift back a little bit. So this release is called the carpal tunnel. You can probably feel it's the front of the wrist. The carpal tunnel, these muscles, are part of the front arm line of fascia. So this actually is connected to the chest, for example. It's connected to the bicep. Take a breath in, and then slowly release and bring that head all the way around again. From here, long spine, start to let the scapula scrunch together behind you. So I'm not changing the shape of my spine, I'm just actually letting my chest come a little bit towards the floor without bending my elbows. And then I'm going to come back to neutral, and then I'm going to go the other way a little bit. So I'm pressing away from my hands. And again, I'm not rounding my spine. It's not a cat stretch. I'm just gliding my scapula wide on my back. Let's do that again. Allowing the scapula to squeeze together. And then press away from the floor and let the scapula glide wide. So guys, we just did these movements where we did retraction, protraction of the scapula. But you know what the difference is now? Is that we are working against gravity because we're in a 4-point position. So in fact, what we're doing here is connecting some muscles along the side of the ribs here called the serratus anterior. So when our chest comes down, the serratus is working eccentrically. And then when I press away from the floor, it's working concentrically. And a lot of us don't even know how to connect into this muscle, so it's a big challenge for a lot of us. Let's take one more time, and then I feel like I probably need a bit of a break from my wrists. Come back to neutral. Open your knees wide, big toes together, sit back and rest your head all the way down. Walk your hands together and touch them in a prayer position. Bend your elbows and place your hands behind your neck. And we're just going to stay here for 5 breaths in and out. So that little exercise called butterfly push-ups is actually very subtle. It's a very refined movement. It's a nice one to also practice standing against the wall if your wrists are taking strain. Nice deep inhales and exhales. And then on your next breath, bringing your hands all the way out and draw yourself up once again onto all fours. So from here, you're going to balance on your right hand and just reach that left arm out to the side. Now, immediately, if you are stabilizing around the shoulder here, the serratus should be working. Yeah, you can probably feel your chest is connecting, all those muscles around the shoulder. Let's come into a little thread the needle. So placing your head all the way towards the ground. And I want you to slide the right hand forward. We're just going to stay here for 3 breaths in and out because this is such a lovely release for the latissimus dorsi. So it opens up along the side of the body here. Plus we're getting that passive rotation of the spine. And now slide your right hand in and then just stay here for a moment. Bend the left elbow and lightly tap your fingertips to your ribs. And then stretch that arm out again. And again, bending the elbow. So we're getting a little bit of a release, a little bit of a stretch along the back arm line now. And 2 more. Touch your ribs. And release. 1 more time. Touch your ribs. And release. Make sure that you're rooting into that right hand as you come all the way up. Stretching it out. Pause for a moment. And then putting the left hand down. Center yourself. Right hand reaches. Pause for a moment, connecting into serratus of that supporting arm. And then thread the needle all the way through. Holding it here. Slide the left arm forward, getting an extra release along the latissimus dorsi. And notice how this twisting of the rib cage changes your breathing. One lung is getting a little bit compressed and the other lung has a lot of space. Stay here, bend the left elbow and placing your left hand to the floor. And now bend the right elbow and touch your ribs. And then release that arm out again. And again, touching ribs. And a little release. Let's take 2 more. Touching ribs. And release. Last one. Touch. And release. Rooting into that left hand. All the way up you come. Reaching the right hand all the way out. Pause for a moment. And then placing hand down. Center yourself. We're going to go into a downward facing dog. So tuck toes. Pressing into hands and feet. Lift your knees just up. Start moving your hips backwards, but don't lift your pelvis yet. I just want you to get a sensation of pushing away from your hands here when your arms are straight. Relax your neck and head, and then lift your hips halfway up and bring your hips halfway down. So you're bending the knees again. And again, lift your hips halfway up and bending the knees. Let's do one more time, lifting hips halfway up and then stay there. Take a moment to feel the shoulder joint rolling outwards and the thumb and forefinger pressing into the ground. So you have pronation of the forearm. And now let's get up the heels. Just press one heel down at a time. So this movement of your legs ultimately shouldn't have an effect on what's happening with the upper body here. Let's just do 2 more. And then press both heels to the floor, bent legs or straight, it doesn't matter. Bring your awareness back once again to your neck, the weight of your head, the rolling outwards of the shoulders, and the connection of thumb and forefinger to the ground. And on your next breath, releasing knees all the way down. Release your feet. Round your spine into a cat stretch. Push up onto the tips of your fingers so you're coming back slightly. And then slide your fingertips towards your knees and roll all the way upright. Sitting up nice and straight. Roll the shoulders back and around a few times. And then allowing them to settle here. We're going to inhale to reach both arms all the way up. Connecting fingertips. And then exhale, open nice and wide. Now bringing just the right arm out to the side. Bringing that arm over, coming into a sideways stretch. Turn your head to look down towards the floor. And we do 5 gentle releases. It's a little extra reach through the fingertips. 2 more. Beautiful. 1 more. Come all the way up. And releasing the arm down. Now the left arm sweeps up. Coming into a little sideways stretch. Hold it here. Turn your head to look down. And 5 little releases. One more. Release all the way up and bring it down. I want you to sit back. If you need to actually put something underneath your bum, please feel free. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing at the back. We're going to do a little neck release from the dawn method. So you're going to have 3 fingertips, and you're going to place the fingers at the base of your neck. Lift your eye lines when you're looking forward, your spine is straight. Now start pressing your fingertips towards each other on either side of your spine, and then slide your fingers up your neck towards the base of your skull, and then when you reach the top, let go and put your fingertips back at the base of your neck again. As you slide your fingers up and you are gently pressing on either side of the spine, we're going to start to add a shaking no, no, no of the head. Release. Here we go. No. Keep sliding your fingers. No. No. Can you feel you've got some sticky spots? And release. And again. So you slide your fingers up and you go no. No. No, as you slide your fingers up. And again, we're going to do just a few more. No, no, no. And we're going to do just one more time. So, shaking our head. No, no, no. And relax. Giving fingertips a little bit of a shake. And then I want you to turn to sit sideways. Again, I'm going to do a mirror image of you. So mermaid, you guys know this one. Bringing your right shin to the front, left shin to the side. And all we're going to do here is a little bit of a twist from side to side. A little bit of a twist. Quite loose and free. So that dawn method, by the way, is almost like a very gentle self-realignment technique. And because the vertebra around the neck, because the joints are quite shallow, it's quite easy to readjust ourselves. Last one. And come back to the center and hold. Coming up and over into our seaweed. You guys know how much I love this one. So again, just like that little twist that we did, make it very loose and easy. Bring your awareness to what your scapula are doing behind you. Feel how there's an upward rotation as the arm goes overhead. Feel the downward rotation as your hand comes down to the floor. And let's just do one more time to each side. One stretch over to the right. Hold it here, and then stretching all the way up. Now, take a look at your hand that's on the floor, middle finger pointing away from you. You're going to bend the top elbow and do a little bit of a salute. Let your shoulder hunch up to your ear, and then press it away again. As you let your shoulder hunch up, you're shortening the neck muscles, the upper trapezius, and as you press away, can you feel that there's space again? So again, we are working concentrically and eccentrically, all those muscles around the shoulder girdle, because we are controlling this movement of elevation and depression of the scapula. Press out and hold it. Let's do some tricep dips. Bend the elbow and then press up again. Good, we're going to do another 7. Now what I want you to realize is that, of course, we're working the triceps, yeah? I think we can all feel those arm muscles working. But I want you to bring your mental focus to your upper back. Are you able to stabilize the scapula on the back of your ribs as you work? Beautiful. So oftentimes when we do normal push-ups, classic push-ups, we all lose our technique, we lose our stability because we're so worried about getting low to the floor. Let's focus on the precision here. This is the last one. And pressing all the way up, hold it. Unfold your top arm, palm up, and let's open up the chest, open up the front arm line. And then round your spine, bringing that hand down towards the floor. Let's reach back again. You're opening up front arm line. And then as you bring that hand down, you're opening up back arm line. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Connecting movements to breath. One more time. Breathing in. Feel how the scapula squeeze together. And breathe out. Feel how the scapula move apart. And we stay here. Placing your thumbs, tips together. Letting both hands settle. And we just close eyes. You don't have to do anything. Feel the spiral of your spine. Feel the response of your neck, your head. Feeling the response of your lumbar spine and your pelvis. All in relation to that spiral, that twist of the thoracic area. And on your next breath, you can open your eyes if they were closed, bring yourself all the way back to center and lifting up. Switch over to the other side. Get yourself centered. And then once again, let's just go into a gentle twist. Nothing crazy. You can hold on to your legs. You can hold on to ankles if you want. If you're super flexible, you can even put your hands on either side on the floor. I'm right there. Make it easy as possible. You don't have to work all the time. Last one. Come back to the center, and then we get to go up and over to our seaweed. It's the same feeling of ease of movement. Feel the thoracic spine move. That is the reason your ribs are moving. It's how we let our arms move through space. And it's bringing us that movement of our scapula behind us. Last one each way. And then placing your left hand down for the last stretch. And then coming all the way up. So take a look down. So I'm doing mirror image. You guys should have your left hand on the floor. You're going to bend the top elbow, do a little bit of a salute. And then just take your shoulder, hunch up. And then press away. And again, a little hunch. And press away. So this is called elevation of the scapula, and when you pull it down, it's called depression of the scapula. So it's basically an up-down movement. And all those muscles around the back of the body, the back of the shoulders are working. Last one. Press away and hold it here. Now bend your elbow and press away. And again, bending elbow, press away. So again, yes, we're working triceps. But what is happening across your upper back? Have you got strength and stability to support your torso, your midsection? Halfway there, bend and straighten. Last one. Press up and hold it. Reach up, palm up, and we open up across the chest and the heart. Rounding your spine, bringing fingertips towards each other. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more. Front arm line. Back arm line. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. we're going to stay here. Place both hands down, touching the tips of your thumbs, and then closing eyes. Feel the ripple of your body. And allow your eyes to open, bringing that right arm all the way up and sitting up nice and straight. Good. So pivot around. You're going to have both knees bent with your feet slightly apart. And I want you to put your hands behind you so your fingers are pointing out to the sides. It's almost like you're sitting on the beach here. So we're just going to do a little bit of a test run. Pushing into your feet and hands, and just see if you can hover your hips up off the ground. And just see how that feels for weight bearing. And then releasing down. So we're going to lift our hips up quite high to get a stretch down the front of the shoulder. Okay, take a breath in. Lifting your hips up. If you can't go very high, it doesn't matter. You just bring yourself up into your best reverse tabletop. This is stretching a very particular muscle in front of the shoulder called the pec minor. Yeah? Take a breath in, and then we exhale and we release all the way down. Now, rest yourself back on your elbows so that there's no pressure on your wrists. In fact, give your hands and your wrists a little bit of a shake. So we're going to do the same thing here, where we're just going to see if we can hover our hips off the ground. So when you're ready, pushing into your feet, pushing into your forearms, and just lift the hips up a little bit. And releasing down. Is everyone okay with that? Yeah? So now, by the way, if you're cramping, it sometimes helps to lift your toes up. Now we're going to see if we can come up a little bit higher to open up the front of the shoulder. On your breath, start pressing into your feet, bringing hips up. And then if you want to increase the stretch, you can move your body weight forward. So this becomes quite intense around the front shoulder. Take a breath in, and then exhale and lower. And I think from here, we're just going to lie all the way back. And then knees bent, arms down beside you. And we're going to get ready to go up into our pelvic curl. So get yourself into a happy place with your lower back, feet grounded, arms down. On your breath out, tilting your hips and start rolling up into your bridge position. Getting that posterior pelvic tilt, so you've got those gluteals nice and active. And then ripple down through your spine. Take your time so you can feel that you have segmental control over your spine as you come all the way down. We're going to do 3 more. Tilting hips, rolling up. Get a sensation of sending your thighs forward over your feet. And then roll down. And release. Last 2. Tilting your hips, rolling up into your bridge position. Lifting from the base of your pelvis. Stay here for a moment. Take an inhale. Ripple through your spine. And release. And on this last one, you're going to stay lifted. Tilting hips. Rolling up. And holding it here. Now, I want you to bend your elbows so that your fingers point up towards the sky, but you still have your triceps pushing towards the floor. So that should immediately switch on gluteals and lats. Keep the left arm where it is and send the right hand up. Turn your palm across. We open the arm wide. Breathe in. Exhale, lifting your arm up again. Are you able to stabilize your pelvis? Inhale, open. Remember, there's no resting. Exhale, lift up. Good. 2 more. So this is a wonderful way to switch on the lats and the obliques, and that's all part of your sling patterns in your body, cross patterns. Open arm, lift up, hold it. Turn your palm forward, bend the right elbow, and really connect both arms to the floor. Now same your left arm up. Turn your palm across. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, lift up. And again, breathing in. And lift. Last 2, inhale. Find the connections on the back of your body. Find the connections along the back of your ribs and arms. Hold it, turn your palm forward, bend the elbow, connect both arms to the floor, and now roll your spine down. Keep pressing your arms into the floor, and then release at the bottom. Send both hands up, interlace your fingers, hands go underneath your head, and then just do a little wiggle of your spine. Just create some space. Roll a little bit from side to side. And then say to yourself right here. So make sure that your feet are grounded, elbows are floating. We're going to come up into a chest lift. Nod your chin. On your breath out, slide your ribs forward, looking through your knees. And then releasing back down. And again, sliding forward. And release back down. Keep it going. As you come forward, you are shortening the front line of the body. The abs are working, yes? Everybody can feel that, I'm sure. Release. As you lift forward, the back line of your body is lengthening. It has to let go to allow this movement. And release. Keep going. As you curl forward, your rib cage is changing shape. Your scapula has to glide wide and then return to neutral on the way down. And again, there is protraction of the scapula and back to neutral. 2 more. There's no pulling on your head. Elbows stay floating and release. Let's take one more time, feeling all the pulls, the pushes, the openings, and release down. Stay here for a moment and just press your elbows back so you have just a little bit of a release along your ribs when the abdominals connect. Don't force yourself into any position here. So before we go into the next exercise, we are going to be doing some obliques. So the obliques mean we are adding a rotation to the movement. So we're going to get going in the movement, but then I'm going to bring your awareness to what the scapula should be doing. All right. So float your elbows up. Feel the scapula settle underneath you. Get your lower back happy. Nod your chin. And breathe out as you come up into a chest lift and you stay here. Rotate towards the right. Feel how the left ribs pull towards the right pelvis. And then you come back to the center, stay lifted. Rotate to the left. The right rib cage is pulling across. And come back to the center. Rotate towards the right. And double check that you haven't opened the right elbow. Can you get scapular protraction? Come back to the center. Rotate to the left. Don't let the left elbow drop back. Come to the center. Rotate to the right. Don't let the left elbow come across. You've got to stabilize. And center one more time. Rotate. No pulling across with the right elbow. Come to the center. Hold it. And releasing all the way back. Stretch your legs out long. Reaching your arms overhead for a good morning stretch. Maybe do a little bit of side-to-side movement. And then come back to the center. So hug your knees in towards your chest. Tuck yourself into a tight little ball shape for a moment. Releasing head and shoulders down. And we're going to be going into a slow roll-up. So hook your hands behind your thighs, legs together, ankles together. Move your legs away from your chest until your elbows are straight. So you can feel there's weight in your hands. Now, as you tuck your chin and come forward, you start to transfer your body weight towards your feet. You are pushing your thighs into your hands and then bring your forehead to your knees. Unravel, lift up, and now curl your tail under. Don't lift your feet until your elbows are straight. Lighten the load on your feet, and now you start to transfer body weight into the back body, into your chest, and relaxing all the way down. And again, bringing legs forward, lift head, and just feeling that stretch along the back of your body, the shortening at the front of your body, forehead to knee, rolling all the way up, and then round your spine, lean back, and again, there is that release between the shoulder blades, lighten the load on your feet, coming all the way back. Last one, bringing your legs away, lifting your head, and exhale. Coming all the way forward, roll up, sit up nice and straight. And now move back so that you can straighten out your legs, but you still have your feet on the ground. Separate your legs to the width of your mat. Pull the flesh of your bum out the back. So oftentimes when we do back extension, we lie on our stomachs and we automatically go into cobra. But there's a whole series of back extension work that you can do in a seated position. So that's what we're going to do here. Lift your toes up. Bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. Sit on a bolster if your hips are tight. Put your hands on the outsides of your legs and your elbows are straight. As you sit up, everything is in neutral. Spine is neutral, rib cage, and the scapular position. We're going to start rounding our spine, releasing from the back of the neck. And then as you round your rib cage forward, you're going to see that you'll feel like your hands slide along the outsides of your legs towards your ankles. And depending on your flexibility, you might be able to go quite far. I can go until my hands are just about at my ankles. So stay there, take a breath in, and then unravel and come back up. So abdominals are connecting, all the way up you come, and lifting up nice and tall. And we repeat that. Nod your chin. Notice how when you round your spine, the scapula glide wide. They protract. So we've felt this in a few different exercises already. Stay for the breath in, and then breathe out and start to roll yourself all the way back up again, and everything returns to neutral. So we're going to add on now. Take a breath, and nod chin, rounding through the upper back, middle back, lower back, and we stay here. Take your hands and hold onto the tops of your shins or your ankles, wherever you are. Start lifting your eye line to look up. So you're going to feel that there's a curve in the back of your neck. Now start lifting your heart up. Feel the shoulders pull away from your ears. Bring your eye up a little bit more than this. And now start lengthening your spine. And if you need to move your hands back a little bit on your ankles or shins, you can. Use your arms to support you. Feel the scapula pulling slightly down and together. That's your lower trapezius muscle connecting. And now round your spine over again. And just stay in this curved spine for another second. Take a breath in. And then exhale, lift eye line, lift heart, lengthen. Hold that lengthened position of your spine, but you're hinging forward. And then round and over you go. We're going to add on this time. Lift eye line, heart, lengthening spine. Now keep holding on with your left hand. Slide your shoulders down a little bit more. Yes, beautiful. Let's feel the difference. Let your right hand go. And we're just going to lift it up and down a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out. Decide how high you can lift, but you've got to keep your spine lengthened. And lower. One more time. Breathing in. Breathing out and hold. Left hand. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Lower trapezius is working. The lower trapezius is responsible for drawing our scapula down. One more. And hold. Round your spine. Over you go. And then roll up into a sitting position. And lift in tall. You're going to come all the way up into standing. So again, I'm just going to turn to face you. You can face whichever direction you like. Big toes in line. And after that extension, we're just going to do a little bit of a release. Soften your knees slightly. Take a breath. Look down towards your toes. Just roll forward until you feel that you have the best release for your own body. And then hang there for a moment. Shake your head. No, 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 no. Nod your head. Yes, 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 yes. Take an inhale. And then all the way up you come, using abdominals. And lift it tall. Roll your shoulders back and around. Wow, I can feel my upper body is being worked. How are you guys doing? Are you okay? Fantastic. All right, welcome guys. Very, very welcome. Let me just hit a little pause there.